activity. Please welcome Carl.
Well, in just a few short weeks that Yi has been with us, he is already on project number 4, How to Say It. And today he's going to talk about the Chinese New Year. Now, in American culture, New Year's means celebration, felicitations with a champagne toast, a resolution to work out, and depending on your generation, either Guy Lombardo and Old Lang Syne or Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve. But what does New Year's mean in Chinese culture? Yi's going to talk about it from a personal experience of what it means to be Chinese in New Year. So in keeping with his personal and project goals, he wants to use simple words, but yet paint a vivid picture, have good grammar and pronunciation. So timer, can you please show the green card at 5 minutes, yellow card at 6 minutes, red card at 7 minutes, and please join me in welcoming Yi to the lectern for his speech on the Chinese New Year.
Good morning, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. Thank you again, Carl. It's a very vivid introduction. Today I will use this celebration time of 125 years of consumers' energy to add another flavor of celebration. Because it's hot out there, so I want to make it cooler, so we're talking about New Year, so it's cooler temperature. Right? So Chinese New Year, what I want to introduce is basically two major categories of information from my personal experience. One is a timeline. It's not just one night, just let you know. And the other is some family traditions. Chinese New Year actually is based on lunar calendar, as you know. So it's not exactly a solar calendar. It's not 1/1 of any given year based on our Western calendar. So the calendar itself moves a little bit. For example, for this past year, which is 2012 Chinese New Year, the date was January 23rd. 2013, the date will be actually February the 10th. The reason why is that in the lunar calendar, we only have 30 days every month. We do not have 31 or 28. So you can imagine, when we have this 5 months of 31 days, several months of 30 days, with the February 28 or leap year 29, there's some zigzag of the time. So that's how it works. Just for the Chinese New Year itself, the timeline-wise, it's actually started before the Chinese New Year Eve. So the December of lunar calendar give us some flavor. We already have some traditional family food made to celebrate, to prepare for the New Year. But the New Year does start celebrating on the New Year's Eve, which will be, I think, is February the 9th, because the 10th will be the first day of the New Year. But it will run into another 15 days of saga. So it's not like one day of drink, right? It's 15 days of drink. But of course, we drink every day, you know, in the sense of, you know, the drinking culture. But the point here is that for my experience, the New Year's Eve, that day, my dad and my whole family will decorate the whole thing of the family. We will have calligraphies, all red, you can imagine. I'm from North China. So we have our window paper cutting, all covered by red paper cut. We have words on our door, wish of the good fortune for next year, and then everywhere in my town is red because everybody's doing the same thing. Imagine you have a high population, everybody higher up, apartment building, 6th, 7th floor, everybody doing it. So when you get out there, it's all red, all over you, which is energy, right? Whenever you see red in a winter kind of season, that's warm. And by the afternoon, my family gotta turn on the light, leave the nights all light up the whole night. But we will take off to my grandma's house. Everybody will gather in my grandma's house, about 20 people, and we'll make dumpling together. We actually will make dumpling the whole night because that will be supplying the next 2 days for dumpling. Can you imagine? Everybody's hands-on. I'm kind of the one who prepare the dough, you know, make a small sleeve around. My dad, my grandma, my grandpa, my aunt, they will put filling and make a dumpling. So that's the timeline for the night. So everybody stay overnight. We'll came back to the home, and the first day of the New Year's Eve, which will be, for example, the February the 10th, the next day, in the morning, we will dress up the new kind of, you know, for kids, you know, the new gentleman. My sister will be like a colorful and we'll go together back to my grandma's house again and start to eat dumpling and greeting each other. But man, so at that time, all the grounds will be covered by firework, the firecrackers, because that's New Year's Eve. That's what people do. And after that, for the next 15 days, from the first day of the year to the 15 days of the year, people will celebrate different things. We have different kind of food every day. This is because the tradition goes, right? Some things dumpling, some was noodle. You actually visit parents a lot. So that's timeline, but by the 15th day, there's another special festival. We call it Lantern Festival. And that day, we'll have another saga. People go outside, all the lanterns are red, all over the town. So it's quite a view if you were caught in yourself, in that period of time. So if you try to find some good time to learn Chinese culture, go to a different country, pick up Chinese New Year by weeks, right? 2 weeks of celebration. So that's about timeline. About family tradition, I'm gonna passing something along with what I'm talking about. The first one I'll pass around is the decoration I mentioned. Remember what I said during the Chinese New Year Eve, we'll decorate the whole house, right? Paper cut, what you see there is actually that's supposed to be red. Just imagine all those pictures are red, okay? Golden red, that kind of. So at my house, we're fortunate. My grandpa is that good, very skillful in calligraphy. He actually wrote those in dark ink on red paper. So we actually decorate our house by his work, I would say. That definitely is not for sale. The other thing I would say, family tradition, is the New Year's Eve reunion dinner. So food, right? Drinking, food is all good. And then in North China, where I came from, the dumpling, the second picture you will see, is actually dominant. The shape of it is actually a silver ingot. So in the old Chinese Qing dynasty, that's the official money. It's made by silver or gold, the shape of the ingot. So when you make a round dough, you put filling in there, you close that, you can imagine that's a circle, right? That's actually a fortune. So we usually sometimes will put a coin. Of course, that's cleaning up, right? A coin. Put it in the dumpling. But nobody know, because when you boil them, nobody know which one it is, right? You will get somebody got teeth hurt when you oh my, but that's actually good luck because you got a coin. That's a luck. And the third piece I will pass along is actually in Chinese New Year, starting from 1984. The Chinese Central TV is called CC4 for short, roll out the Chinese New Year Eve saga. It's always starting in Chinese local time, 8 p.m., running around like 12:30. So about 4.5 hour saga TV show. So that's become part of a tradition everybody do. So you have a Chinese New Year Eve reunion dinner. Everybody drink and they eat. The kids can drink too. Just like we don't have legal drinking age. Good or bad, right? So you watch TV, you drink, you do chat. So that's become part of the tradition of Chinese New Year saga. The next piece I'm passing around is actually the red packet, the hongbao we call it in Chinese. What it is that in the first day of Chinese New Year, and the kids will go to greeting for their parents, or specifically for young kids. Just like we have a trick or treat. If you're 20, we do not do trick or treat anymore, right? So for kids, I cannot do it anymore. So when you go there to greet your grandma, hey grandma, wish you good health, everything. It's Happy Chinese New Year. Normally you will give the kid a red pocket, and there is cash for them, whatever they want to use. But of course, legal guardians, the father or the mother will, okay, I'll take care of that for you, But it's their money. It's their money. So parents has been very generous in the past, and we actually maintain this tradition in my house right now. It's not that much cash yet, but the we'll, like, for example, in the past several years, we've been giving out the red packet for my children. At least let them to appreciate, that kind of celebration, but more importantly, they got some free cash to use. The last one is a little bit puzzle here for everyone. And for the kids, the greeting will be the red pocket, but also for the family members or the friends, they exchange each other for cards, for words. And what you see there is actually a Chinese calligraphy, but the ones printed in black is actually one of the symbol people use to say, hey, wish you a lot of fortune in the new year. Okay, so the red letters I wrote down is actually the 4 actual Chinese characters who made up that black one. So black one itself is not a real Chinese character. It's made by an arts feeling to put all 4 Chinese characters into one character. So by that, hopefully you got some picture about what my life were looking like when I was in China. That's part of what I'm missing here. But hopefully you got some different understanding of Chinese New Year. It's not just a cultural thing, it's really something that changed how people see the society, how the kids celebrate. Set up some base tone for a lot of Chinese people worldwide. Thank you very much. Appreciate your attention.
Thank you very much, Yi.